Welcome back to the Wrestling Related Podcast, where the topics are related to wrestling and we are related to each other. I'm Josh, that's Dustin, that's Corey, and we're here. You're you, and you're watching us and catching us, or whatever platform you're on. Guys, how you doing? How you been enjoying wrestling this week?
It's been entertaining.
I'm tired.
You've been playing catch up.
I've been playing catch up on WWE. I've been playing catch up and whatnot on AEW from the last year and the last month. And yeah, I've been chugging through about somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 8 shows per day.
Yeah.
Just, all right. Yeah, I need to watch this. Okay. And commercials. Get through. And yeah.
Yep.
So,
and some of the promos that you wind up getting in those, it's like, I will fast forward.
Yeah. A minute in, and you're like, unless there's a run in, I know what this is.
But be careful, because some of the promos you got to turn around and go, oh, wait, back up. What did they have to say? Because you need to watch it.
This is true, especially when you get into MJF.
But it's way easier.
It is.
I got to say, the first vignette that I saw, MJF and
Adam Cole, baby.
Yes, Cole. I kept thinking to myself, that's wrong, because Michael Cole. No. Yeah, Mr.
Not
Bebe.
Michael Cole.
And the tag team Better Than You, Bebe, from last summer, catching up on that. In the first vignette I saw those two, and it was them out eating spicy Korean or something like that.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I probably should get to know who these people are.
Yes.
Watch
and the spicy Korean one, I
I
remember that vignette. Yeah.
And then
The dodgeball was the best.
The dodgeball
that one was amazing. I loved it.
Dodgeball was
I was
good.
like,
Yep.
Should have called me. I would have been there with you.
And
I
have
don't
you
care whose kid it was.
watched one of their matches yet?
Oh yeah.
I love the throwback to like
It's
the
good.
Steiner brothers, the dog-faced gremlin running around in circles, and it's just like, yes. Oh, it was so good. Yep.
But now I'm bookend Roderick Strong in a collar, because neck brace, and whining because his best friend is now best friend over here, and then on the other end, now he's a champion and has this group of followers, but Adam Cole's not around, and what's going on? And so I gotta bridge that gap sometime in the next few weeks. But
yeah, you got some of the timeline that's missing.
I'm up to speed on Dynasty so far.
Cool.
What's gonna go down?
Cool. Well, let's run through some of the other maybe highlights, anything that popped out that you guys wanted to talk about, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever it was, before we get into our Dynasty predictions.
I'll jump in with from Raw. The good is that we got some new tag belts, so we can get rid of those ugly title belts that they were sporting for the last decade.
God. Yes.
Oh, those things are horrible.
Yes.
In between, from going from the penny belt to the nickel belt, I mean, they still look like a flattened version of two gladiator helmets, like facing the wrong directions, and it's like,
yep.
No.
And the fact that Tommaso Ciampa's the one that presented it to him was just amazing.
I know.
Who
knew that one half of one of the greatest NXT tag teams was going to give that belt?
R-Truth is hilarious. I love it.
R-Truth is a national treasure.
He's a character.
I love R-Truth. That whole segment. I heard some things on X that I was reading today, and people saying, "Oh, well, the whole thing out there, that whole segment, it fell flat with the audience." And I'm thinking, it may have fell flat with the audience that was in the arena, possibly, if they couldn't quite follow, over the speakers. But the audience at home, the millions that were watching, oh no, it was absolutely amazing. I was glued, and I wanted it to keep going on. Like when Triple H is like, "Can I get out of here?" I'm thinking, "No, you need to stay longer. This is hilarious."
Well, that's because he was about to break. He was about to break character. He was trying to keep from laughing.
Yep, it was.
Now,
so
it wasn't the funniest that I've seen out of Truth. But yes, highly entertaining.
Still comical, still very rewarding.
Oh, yeah.
And those belts, yes, they are fantastic.
Nice.
They're always
beautiful.
hated belts that have a colored strap too. I can't stand them. Like the only one that I kind of was okay with was the old school IC belt when they went with the white strap. But when you get like a yellow one that was in there, it was like, no, that's gross. And then when everybody gets a red strap, it's like, no. just make it black leather. Just leave it.
Right.
The only colored band I want on any belt is Ted DiBiase's the $1 Million belt, and that's just because it's all gold. Like that's the only one that gets away with it. The rest of them, no.
So you didn't dig the Triple B?
So the Triple B is no, not really. It's the closest that I've. It would be my favorite. Personalized belt. And Triple
What's
B.
the Triple B?
The what is it? The big beautiful belt of. I think is what he called it. It was MJF. It's what he called the title belt, and he changed the strap so it had like that.
Oh yeah, I saw that he did that with the.
It was it's the only personalized one that I kind of liked, but it was more because it was MJF with it than it was actually that. Like I wouldn't actually want that belt other than the fact that it was MJF.
The big Burberry belt.
Yep, Burberry. I should have remembered
so
that.
I am okay with the backing of the belt. Like Stone Cold's Smoking Skull belt had like snakeskin. That I'm okay with. But you also looking at the original big gold was in a dark brown.
Yeah, so okay, I'll go with black leather or like a dark brown, like natural leather. Like either of those, I'm cool
with.
The what?
Leather.
Yeah, it just needs to be leather.
Leather belt, leather strap, not
Velcro closures.
Like it was. Oh my gosh!
Like a Velcro closure, it's like that's what you get your 8-year-old. Just like, no, stop making toys.
So welcome to the show. This is going to be the podcast on belts tonight.
No, not full belt.
Nope.
The belt was good. Did love it. One of these days we are going to have to rank our belts, and man, we can go in so many different directions on that.
Also, Rhea Ripley like being out.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
Not a happy camper about that.
I can be somewhat of a happy camper if I try to look at the silver lining, as long as Liv Morgan winds up getting the belt. If she's the one that took her out, she's the one that should be able to win it. That way it sets up a storyline for when Rhea comes back.
And I bet she will right before Rhea comes back, like a month or two before.
Yeah, I mean, I would like her to get it on Monday. Like I would like her to come out on Monday when they wind up, doing, because I think I saw that's what it is next Monday.
Yeah.
And if she comes out and does her Liv Morgan revenge tour and wins the belt, it would be like, hey, that's kind of cool. At the same time, it's like, couldn't we have just left Rhea on TV? She doesn't have to compete. That's fine. Wrap her in bubble wrap. I don't care. She's better there than not there.
Yeah, I could have booked that easy. But do you think that maybe because that ring, you guys were talking about the ring at WrestleMania being so cold, so stiff, that it might have had an impact on her shoulder, which is why they then resorted to the following Raw of, now we're going to throw a chair at said shoulder, and now here's where we go.
Well, it could be, but then I also saw on X there was somebody that posted one of like the backstage clips, and you see like Liv grab her and shove her in the hall, and she hits her shoulder right into the wall, and instantly like drops down and grabs her shoulder. So whether or not it was already injured before that, whether it was slightly injured, whether that was, I don't know. It looked like that could have been it, and I mean, we know wrestling business, you can have a fluke that just happens, but. What else going on this week, Dustin, that you saw?
Another one of those predictable heel turns for me with the
Chad
end
Gable?
of the Sami Zayn. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming. Yep. And it's good because I like Chad Gable as a heel better than. That's where the whole shoosh thing came in, was because he was playing the heel, and it worked for him as a heel.
Is it?
Yeah.
I asked Josh this question earlier today, and I'll ask you: does Chad Gable have a moveset that wasn't previously owned by Kurt Angle?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like,
Does it feel like Kurt Angle light?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean,
But it's working too.
I don't know if it
I mean, we'll
necessarily
never
feels.
get Kurt back.
I don't know as I necessarily think he feels Kurt Angle light, as much as it's just that's the natural comparison. The same way that anybody who comes into WWE with a mask on is instantly going to get compared to Rey Mysterio, and it's just that.
Hang on. I'm comparing because of all the German, the ankle lock, the singlet, all of it. I mean, the whole package is kind of being.
Did you
very
say light
reminiscent.
or like?
I said light.
Oh,
Light.
no. I thought you said like, and I'm like, yeah, it's Kurt Angle like, but no, I wouldn't say light. He's his own character.
No.
He's not.
Yeah.
He may have similarities to Angle, but
And it's an
definitely
easy
Chad Gable.
comparison because of Olympic gold
He's
medalist
dressing
type
and
stuff,
doing-
and it's like, yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
And
it's
he's
like
doing moves like him and
correct, yeah.
Okay.
And that's like what I was saying with the Rey Mysterio comparison, where it's like, okay, Hurricane Rana, head scissors, planchas, suicide dives. It's like, okay, well, they're doing all the same moves, and yeah, they're wearing a mask, but the portrayal and how they do it, and they've all got their little flair. But if you look at it from a wide perspective, yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see what Chad Gable does as a heel, though, to really press in, because we've only seen glimmers of it, just little glimpses, I guess, in the past. And I've enjoyed what I've seen, but it just hasn't been enough.
They haven't-
And
they haven't pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah, and he's so good, just underutilized. And I don't know, maybe he's one of those that is just kind of forever relegated to that good hand that elevates everybody else. I don't know, but I think everybody deserves the
Time will
shot
tell.
to at least see if they can go up. I mean, if instead of just elevating others, if they can actually help elevate themselves and bring others up with them. So yeah, I'm excited
What
to
was
see
it
where it's going.
Chelsea Green said on Van Vliet? She says, I don't care if I win a single title belt. For me, it's, am I entertaining the audience? Am I entertaining to them? Am I able to tell a story? Am I able to do what I'm supposed to do?
Yep.
And as long as she does that and she makes people happy, she doesn't care if she ever wins a title belt.
Yeah.
And maybe he's in that
There's
similar
Hall of Famers.
position.
There's Hall of Famers that are known for holding a belt.
Mhm.
That I can't think of a single title belt that Jake the Snake held, but that guy's clearly Hall of Fame.
IC?
I think he had the IC for a short period.
I don't think he did he?
That's the only one I could think of. I mean, I kind of remember.
If he did,
Yeah,
it was forgettable because all I remember is him and the steak
right.
and those promos. Oh my gosh. Everybody else yelling, screaming, losing their voice, and he gets up close and whispers and ugh.
Correct. Yeah.
Anything else that stood out to you, Dust?
From Monday night, no, there was nothing.
I mean, we're even going back to like last Wednesday Dynamite because we didn't cover last Wednesday Dynamite. I will say for me, it don't really feel like addressing the backstage footage from All In that they posted because it was unnecessary, and I don't think it's actually going to do anything to promote a storyline.
No.
The only thing I think they're going to try to do out of it is to really get Jack Perry some attention, and quite frankly, we didn't need that to get it done. And then the cheap shot that Ospreay did to try to talk back to Triple H with a 20-year insult, and it's just like, it was unnecessary.
That was clearly written for him from someone in the back.
it kind of sounded like it. And yeah, when I say Tony Schiavone sitting at the ring table and he looks like
Head
he's
down.
miserable and doesn't want to be there, And then I see Renee Paquette interviewing Ospreay, and she's looking down like, do I really have to stand here again? Those are moments that I think were just unnecessary. And I'm glad that while AEW is still a young company and it's still technically like a startup wrestling company, they've got growing pains. They're going to go through it. I hope they get this out of their system quickly. I hope they wind up getting an extra layer of just filtration across there. Somebody else that everything can come by. Not that they necessarily are going to shoot it all down, but somebody to at least hear what the ideas are and say, have you thought about how it could play out in this scenario? And are you okay with that result? And if so, go have fun and deal with the consequences of your actions. But sometimes we just don't think about things that way. And I think they need somebody else to bounce some ideas off of just for that alone. Yeah, if you want to go use real glass, fine, whatever. But
they need somebody to play the devil's advocate to sit there and say, you do realize that if you do it this way, it could be viewed as this too.
Yeah.
Not just from your own lens, but from somebody else's lens. But, everybody has that. Every company's situation is going to wind up with that. So
I will say for me, Toni Storm is the R-Truth for me. I mean, she is so hilarious in her role. She is, going back, Josh told me to go back and watch some little vignettes that I missed on a couple of shows because I was busy pulling a Corey and fast forwarding through it. And then all of a sudden I go back and I watch it. I'm like, oh my gosh, she is so funny.
They are
so good.
So good because she's disconnected from reality to a certain level, and it's entertaining to watch. It's just,
very much so.
It's good TV, and it's one of the redeeming qualities, especially with MJF kind of being out and gone, and where's he at? What's he going to do? Are we going to see him back? He was one of the few that brought the stories in. He was a real storyteller out there. Toni Storm is now filling that void of the storytelling. And that's where it's like, that's something that AEW doesn't quite have.
Do enough.
They don't do enough of. And let's just be honest, WWE is the master at that. They are master storytellers, and they have the best pro wrestlers that know how to tell stories anywhere out there. And they do a good job of really building people up and teaching them how to do that. And AEW, they're so far behind in that. Now the wrestling, the in-ring,
they're just learning.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just where. So when I see somebody like a Toni Storm that's doing stuff where I will stop. Like if I'm skipping through a commercial and then she pops in right away, I'm backing up. If it's one of those picture-in-pictures. Oftentimes I'm skipping through the commercial, even during picture-in-picture. I don't care if they're still wrestling. I don't want to watch the commercials. But if Toni Storm happens to be there, even doing like her silent films, I'm watching the entire silent film during the commercial. I'm just hitting mute on whatever ad is playing.
It's the silent film. You could.
Yeah. It's just, it's so good. And I prefer her silent films rather than what Sammy Guevara used to do where he just held up the cards, even though it was still kind of entertaining.
Let's talk about one more real quick thing that I want to bring up.
Sure.
I saw. Okay, so Sheamus returned. Yay! I love Sheamus. Sheamus is good. Hold on, Josh. I know where you're going with this, and I'm pretty sure Corey will too. I saw a couple of posts where people are just throwing insults towards Sheamus about his physique. Now, Sheamus has been out for a while. His physique is not what it was. However, how quickly these people forget back in the day when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson turned around and had to wear jumpsuits for the longest time and wrestle in the jumpsuits because his physique was not where it was. These are professional athletes. These are people that are trained to look a specific way, and maybe these people aren't realizing he might be bulking up. Correct, he might be going through a bulking stage. But the fact is...
What was his injury?
A neck injury is what I heard, what they said.
Okay.
So...
Yeah, and it looks like he's bulking up to me. If you've watched like his what is it, the Celtic workouts or whatever on YouTube.
Yes.
He is so
Yes.
into trying a bunch of different
Fitness.
things, and he knows the difference
Absolutely.
between, your bulking and then your cutting phase, and trying to do that.
Yeah.
He's talked about it in the past where when you're out for an extended period of time, that's the perfect opportunity to try to bulk up, because then you can cut coming right back in. And even like Johnny Gargano mentioned the same thing when he just came back. He came back, and like the first week, I think he said he was back, or week or two, he wasn't in the shape that he was hoping to get because he just didn't have enough time to cut down. He came back earlier than he thought he would.
So I'm going to jump in here with a couple points to back you up on that. The two places that you could injure that will take you out of the gym almost completely is your neck and your back, your lower back. The two places that are very spine specific, but if your neck is injured, you're not grabbing anything. You're not grabbing a grip on anything. You're not hanging on anything. You're not holding any weight. So how are you going to do much of anything? Getting in the gym, lifting. You can walk on the treadmill because you don't want the impact of the running, which is going to continuously keep jarring your neck. It's tough. So I feel for the guy. I wonder if there was something else behind the scenes that they were like, look, we need you back by this date. And because you got cleared, but it's okay. You can work and get back into shape at this point from here. I mean, the second that he came out and all of a sudden I'm like, we're wearing biker shorts now. Is this Triple H
Right.
from 2 decades ago when he did it? But then again,
But there are some wrestlers that need to wear shorts.
You know what? There are some wrestlers that need to wear a muumuu. Just saying. There are some wrestlers that from highlights of WrestleMania that should never have their shirt ripped off of them.
Yeah.
Because, wow, I thought I was in bad shape.
Right.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see him back, though. I am happy to see him back.
But yeah,
yes.
And I saw a moment with him when he had a big man up on the turnbuckle. And before he starts climbing the turnbuckle himself, he like stops, had to get a big deep breath, catch his breath,
Eyebars
and then start moving.
Yeah.
That was before Sheamus was climbing the turnbuckle. So that tells me that one of the things that he had struggled with while he was dealing with whatever injury it was getting enough cardio to keep up with the amount of calories to keep his body fueled so that he could heal. Thankfully, he's healing.
Right.
I was wondering if it was his neck because his range of motion was a little limited when he was looking back and side to side. But he's in there, and that guy with his Celtic Warrior workouts, it's just a matter of time before he comes rolling out in his shorts and rocking a 6-pack. Mark my words.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It won't be long.
Love Sheamus.
That's all I got.
A couple other things that really stood out to me. I want to go back to Dynamite, and it was kind of overshadowed for me, which is why I always get a little frustrated when any wrestling company does like something just stupid that like was unnecessary to do, because if it's very controversial and it could be stupid and it could really go either way, you run the risk of that one thing overshadowing the rest of the card. Adam Copeland versus Penta, like that match was good. And Mariah May versus Anna Jay, match was good. And so I was like,
I buzzed through that one.
We had a couple good matches.
You should go back.
And I even thought that Samoa Joe versus Dustin Rhodes was pretty good. It was a slower pace than what I have been used to seeing Samoa Joe in, but it kept me entertained. And it's like, those are the things that it's like just a couple other segments pulled away from that, but
But that also shows the versatility of Joe, not having to go balls to the wall, working cruiserweights that are running bing, 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 bing.
Yep.
Same thing with Penta. Because,
Yeah.
Adam Copeland's not going to be able to keep up with what Penta has to do when he's wrestling the Bucks or wrestling, somebody like that. And then all of a sudden you go to wrestling Adam Copeland. It's a totally different wrestling style. And I think Penta did an amazing job of being able to transition.
Seeing Adam Copeland bust out like tilt-a-whirl leg scissors and Hurricane Ranas, and I'm like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
It was just, but it was quite entertaining. And then
was it power slam on the apron?
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, oh,
yeah.
That was a Penta idea.
SmackDown, Tama Tonga.
Freshman.
Tama Tonga is in WWE, and that segment with Solo and Paul Heyman and beating down Jimmy and Tama, and even then they go in the back and like Paul's trying to talk, and then here comes Solo, and it's just like and this is on the order of the tribal chief, and I'm like, okay, so what's going on?
So Josh, go back several weeks ago before WrestleMania even started. You and I were talking about, just brainstorming possible scenarios of what might happen. Yeah. And at one point I made a comment that I thought Roman Reigns would lose it, and then Solo would step up and attack Roman and become the new head of the table. Yeah. Well, I'm feeling a little bit of similarity. I think the came from the tribal chief. I think that he's insinuating to Paul Heyman that it's Roman Reigns, but in actuality, I think Solo's thinking he's the new tribal chief.
And
hey, Roman isn't here. He said I'm the next in line. Here I am.
He did.
But here's the other thing. There was the line that Solo put out there about there must be consequences for losing.
Yep.
If we go back to our conversation before all this happened, The Rock and Roman, they were out there and he shows the family tree. And in there is only one name that has chief next to it, and it was Rock's. He is the high chief of the family, and that has legit been bestowed upon him. So Roman wants to call himself the tribal chief, but when it really comes to the tribe of that family, the high chief is the final boss, Rock. And if we go back to night 1 of WrestleMania, The Rock was the one that actually won and pinned Cody.
Right.
Night 2, Roman got pinned and lost. So could this be The Rock, the high chief, the final boss, making the calls from Solo and saying, hey, go call Tama, get him in here. I'm going to be gone. I need you guys to run things.
It feels like a almost kind of like a corporate takeover scenario. And then at some point in time down the road, seeing Roman make a return.
Yeah.
And
it feels like there's going to be a bloodline feud. It feels like it could be bloodline war games at Survivor Series type of a deal. Maybe it's Roman and the Usos on the face side, the original bloodline group going against Solo, Tama Tonga.
And who else?
Maybe Jacob Fatu. Can we please? Could we please? I heard that he's no longer under contract with MLW and he's a free agent. So, could we please? That whole
it's
top rope,
anything's possible.
Yeah, that top rope little moonsault thing that Andrade does that usually scares me when he does it, where he's standing up on the ropes and he kind of kicks the legs out and hits the top turnbuckle and flips over. Jacobs is better because he springs up to the top and then he goes to the rope instead of the turnbuckle and hits it and flips over. And he's also
bigger,
not a small guy, so it's quite impressive. But yeah, that would, because here's the other thing, in that family tree that The Rock had, Jacob Fatu's in there. His name was smack dab in there. We can't say that about Zilla Fatu. At least when I looked, I didn't see Zilla in there. But Jacobs is. So maybe it would be fun. Lots of speculation, but yeah, that a Survivor Series Bloodline feud would kind of be cool. The one thing I can just say is I got excited again because it was like the Bloodline continues. It's been going on for how many years now? Just it's the gift that keeps on giving. I'm loving it.
A few. All right. So we came full circle back to the Fed again.
Yep. And now I think we're ready to switch gears, though. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in with our AEW Dynasty predictions. It is live on pay-per-view on Sunday. This is Tuesday, which means there are still 3 shows, and I believe, is it 5 hours or something of AEW? We got
5 hours.
Dynamite tomorrow night. We have Rampage on Friday night, and then we've got Collision on Saturday. And so we've still got a lot of programming to go, and a lot could change. So these are our kind of early predictions. But like last time when we did our WrestleMania predictions, I also brought up the betting lines on here. So we'll just go through. We don't know what match order this is at, but I think we'll go through.
We're at the top of the list.
Take our guesses, and we'll go from there. And just as a reminder, because you guys are my older brothers, I won last time. I'm the pay-per-view prediction champion. I'm putting my title on the line this weekend. It's the first singles championship I've ever had in wrestling. All right, so let's go ahead and kick it off with one that I'm really excited about. It is for the AEW Continental Championship. We will not go down the rabbit trail of that, the Continental Championship, but this is the champion, Kazuchika Okada, against the returning Pac.
What was his first name again?
Kazuchika.
Just call him the Rainmaker.
Can I get Dustin to say it?
Kazutite. No.
God bless you.
Rainmaker. Rainmaker is what I will always call him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Okada. I'll call him Okada.
I'm going with
Okada versus Pac. What do you think? Betting lines they're saying that Okada is a strong favorite. Negative 800 on the betting lines.
Yeah.
I think Okada's going to win it, but I want Pac to win it.
Okay.
So do you guys say Pac or Pac?
Depends on any given day.
Tomato, right?
Yeah. I have to say Pac,
for the most
even
part.
though I think it's wrong. I think it's supposed to be Pac, but I have to say Pac just because if I say Pac, I instantly think of X-Pac, which doesn't make sense.
Oh, true.
Well,
okay, Pac it is.
He spells it P-A-C, so sorry, kid, even though you're from England or whatever. That's Pac. We know this from the 90s. It's
true.
Pac.
Well, I want him to win,
Yeah.
but I think the win's going to go to Okada.
Yep. I think we're all on the same here. I think Okada's winning. I want Pac to win.
I think Okada's winning.
I
don't want Pac to win.
Okay.
I hate Okada's finisher, but that's just me.
I love Okada's finisher when he gives it to somebody who can sell it. And he lays it in good.
Well,
but that's why I like Bradshaw, because it didn't matter who Bradshaw gave it to.
Well, because Bradshaw didn't care who he gave it to.
Right.
Bradshaw's like, I don't care if you want to take this or not, you're going to take it.
Yep.
The only option you had with Bradshaw's clothesline from hell was to make sure that your mouth wasn't in the way of his arm.
Right.
But, all right. Next up, we have got the AEW World Tag Team Championship on the line. They are currently vacant, and it is the Young Bucks against FTR. It's in a ladder match. I missed, I think, Collision and Battle of the Belts last week. I have not watched those, so this was updated for me. I didn't know that there was a ladder match coming.
So Battle of the Belts has been has been really lame for the last 4 or 5 times. No, there was nothing really that you missed.
Okay. And did they was there any reason why they went with a ladder?
Because then it makes it more believable that the Bucks could actually beat FTR.
I think the only thing that happened that you might have missed was Okada and Pac got into it a little bit, and then the Bucks came out, and then FTR came out and helped Pac out.
Okay. So for me, they've got the Bucks as a favorite. It's a negative 300 favorite. I don't think that's big enough. I'm going to go with the Young Bucks on this for two different reasons. The first one being they mentioned something about the scapegoat. And I think it was Matt or Nick that was wearing the scapegoat t-shirt. I thought, okay, Jack Perry's going to show up at Dynasty in some fashion, but I couldn't quite figure it out. Once I heard it's a ladder match, I was like, oh, well, then that means there's no disqualification. And there you go. The scapegoat's going to come in, and he's going to cost them, FTR, the titles, which kind of continues the rivalry, which I'm not mad about. I want FTR to win because I do believe that FTR are the best tag team in the world right now, and one of the best. They're in that talk for all time at this point. When they've held every single major tag team out there, championship, it's like, dude, they've got to be. But I think Bucks are going to win it.
Yep, I'm with you on that. I want FTR to win, but I think something's going to happen, and the Bucks are going to end up taking it. Whether they use their EVP, they pull a rock and turn around and tell the referee if they don't count it, something's going to happen. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling that way.
I want FTR to win, but we're going to see some sort of shenanigans.
Something. Yeah.
And I didn't catch the whole scapegoat thing, so I would lean in towards that.
Yep.
So get ready for it.
I think that'll kind of be the way it's going to go. We'll see how that one pans out. The next one, this was one that I believe was added over the weekend. It's the AEW International Championship, where AEW International Champion Roderick Strong is facing off against Kyle O'Reilly. The betting lines have this one close. They're giving Kyle O'Reilly the edge at a negative 200.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. I think Kyle O'Reilly has it.
Ooh. Okay.
Yep, that's what I'm going with.
All right. Corey, thoughts on that one?
No thoughts.
Well, pick one. Pick one.
No thoughts? Any prediction? Or you just want me
to go? You go ahead and go. Let me give this a little more.
Yeah. So this is the one that's the closest for me, and I'm not quite sure. I can see this going either way. Like, to me, this is really a toss-up. I would put it more at like a negative 100. I do like what Kyle O'Reilly is doing. I do like how he's coming back. However, I think that I've got to lean towards Roderick Strong, and he's going to be my pick in this. Just because I can see there being a little bit more tension that's coming on. Actually, now as I say that, it would still create the same tension if Kyle O'Reilly took it, because you've still got the Adam Cole baby, and like, where's he going? Because he's friends with both. Like, you had him, and these two were part of the the Undisputed era back in NXT. And so they were two of the four members, and Adam Cole was the leader, and then you bring in the Kingdom in with it, and now it's like, I'm going with Roderick Strong. I don't feel great about it, but that's my pick.
All right, just to be different from Josh, I'll go with Kyle O'Reilly.
Okay. Now, I'm going to jump in real quick with a little caveat. Corey, if you have not seen it yet, and Josh, back me up on this, in WWE, Kyle O'Reilly faced Finn Balor. If you have not seen those matches, owie. Such a good match. Good match.
I'll get there. Was that an NXT thing, or was
NXT.
it on a PLE? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
It was so good.
Hey, just Finn Balor, NXT all the way up through the point where he gets injured by Seth Rollins. Phenomenal. And he's another underutilized talent. But AEW, okay, we've got a dissent here where we're different on opinions. We'll go into the next one. It is the trios match. We have got Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe against the House of Black of Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews? Or is it Murphy? I always forget.
Matthews.
Yeah.
It's Matthews.
One was
It's
in one
Matthews
place, one
here,
was in the
Murphy
other.
there.
But it's Buddy.
Buddy.
They've got
Here's your
Copeland,
buddy.
Kingston, and Briscoe as favorites, giving them a negative 400 on this. So that's kind of where they're leading. There is momentum with Adam Copeland, and there is momentum with Mark Briscoe. And the House of Black has not been doing a ton lately. However,
They haven't won or they haven't lost a trios match since they lost the titles.
true.
Not one since they lost the title.
True.
Okay,
I'm
so
going
Corey,
House
who
of
are you
Black.
picking?
I'm going House of Black. Yeah. Turned into a big fan over the weekend of House
Yeah.
of Black.
House of Black
Yeah.
is, they're so good.
Wildly entertaining.
I've got to go House of Black too. I'll be disappointed if they lose. And it's just one that's what I want to happen so much that it doesn't outweigh what I think could happen. But at the same time, if Adam Copeland and Mark Briscoe are going to take an L, it needs to be in this, so that way it doesn't affect their titles. It becomes a trios or a tag type of a record. So,
And I think House of Black's going to win it, but I think Eddie Kingston's going to turn on the other two in the match. Something's going to happen with Eddie because he was better as a heel than try to be a fan favorite. And he
agreed.
did just
That could
lose
be
the
an
title
L,
to
too.
Briscoe.
Yeah.
And you what?
He did just lose the title to Briscoe. The
Yep.
ROH
At
championship.
Super Card of Honor.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So,
I know this coming in the next couple of days. We've got a Adam Copeland against the big man.
Brody King.
Brody King.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, isn't it tomorrow? Isn't that Adam
think it's
Copeland
singles between
and
the two
Willow
of them.
Nightingale against Brody King and Julia Hart? Was it a tag?
Oh, maybe
think
that's
you're
what I
right.
saw.
I think
Yeah,
that's a
maybe
tag
that's what I saw.
tomorrow. Yeah. And that'll be,
Mixed
Yeah,
tag.
yeah.
because Willow and Adam Copeland said the exact same thing to each other. What do you say?
Right.
And Adam's like, no, I think. Here's what I say. I think
No,
this
you
is
get
what
him.
happened. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same comment.
Yep,
You
absolutely.
get him. No, you get him.
Somebody messed up their line.
All right, next in the line, AEW Women's World Championship is on the line. The world champion, Timeless Toni Storm, goes head-to-head against Lightning Daffodil.
I
Betting
wish
odds
I
of-
had a filter to take the color away from me.
Yeah. Betting odds have got Toni Storm at negative 400. She has been doing an amazing job with this women's title. I could see this. I want Toni Storm to win. I'll put that out there. I want her to win. I do not want Thunder Rosa. I think Thunder Rosa has one of the most unique looks inside the locker room with AEW, especially
Period.
in the women's locker room. I'm
Period.
not the hugest fan, but I just want Toni Storm to win because as all of the reasons we mentioned earlier, and I love her storytelling. However, I could easily see Mariah May messing it up somehow because there's going to be a time when you get Toni Storm against Timeless Toni Storm. And so you get Mariah May doing the Toni Storm gimmick against Timeless Toni Storm. And I don't know when that's going to happen, but it feels like it's about to happen anytime. And I could easily see that being a program that they have that doesn't have to involve the women's championship. Is that enough for me to want to pick Thunder Rosa over what I really want, though?
And do you think it's this time? While he's contemplating or constipating, Dustin, your take.
Thunder Rosa never officially lost the title when she had it. She had to vacate it because of injury. Or no, it wasn't injury. It was, what was it? She wasn't showing up or something, right?
Yeah, it was an injury and then just not showing up type of a deal because of.
So Rhea Ripley will stay champion. Got it.
I still think Toni Storm's going to take it. I'm going with Toni Storm.
I don't know. The other dilemma that I have with this is because I'm also thinking about the other women's championship, and it's like, do I think they're going to change one title, two titles, no titles? I don't know, because, I mean, so far, my predictions have been there's not been a title that's really changed hands other than the new one crowned. And there's three more title matches, and I don't know which one of them would actually change, and I'm beginning to think that none of them might. So that's like, I mean, it feels like one of them has to at least. But I don't know. Dustin, you're going to Toni Storm. Corey, what are you thinking?
Toni Storm.
Crickets. I could just make it difficult and pick Thunder Rosa, and then and then Josh is like splitting hairs.
It wouldn't matter. I'm still not sure.
I don't know. I wasn't contemplating the all the title changes and whatnot, but I will say if I got to pick one of them, I'll say this one. So I'll say it's going to go Thunder Rosa, regardless of what I want.
Oh man, this is the hard part about predicting because, yeah, and my title's on the line.
Don't drop the ball, son.
What? As much as I think that it would be Thunder Rosa that's going to win it, and as much as that will drag out, and as much as I don't know, I can't go against Timeless Toni Storm. I've got to watch out for the shoe. Timeless Toni Storm, that's who I'm going with so far. And I'm going to skip past just so I don't have to think about it again. AEW World Championship, the champion, Samoa Joe, against Swerve Strickland. Whose house? It's Swerve's house. The betting odds think that it will be with only a negative 200.
Slim,
is it time?
I say yes. Yep.
Really?
I'm going with Swerve. Yep.
Okay, well,
I think Samoa Joe, as much as I love Samoa Joe, and I've always loved him even from way back in the early TNA days, and I love Joe. I love the way he works. I love his promos, everything about. The thing is, I strongly believe Samoa Joe was the in-between champion. He was there, and I think Swerve's going to take it.
Okay. I could see that. Part of me thinks that... part of me wants Samoa Joe to keep that belt until MJF comes back and MJF to beat him to get that belt back. I don't know if that's going to happen. But we don't even know what MJF's status is. Or
if he's figuring out how to work a 20-foot ring.
Correct. It's quite possible that he's going to meet up with Cody over there. I want Swerve. I've really enjoyed what Swerve is doing. Samoa Joe just brings a stability to that. Who else are they going to be trying to push and promote that they could have? I don't. Nope, I can't. I've got to stick with Samoa Joe. I think he's going to retain. Yeah. And here's what I would love to see happen. I would love to see Hangman Adam Page come back and then cost Swerve again just to set up even a longer feud. But I don't think that'll even happen. I can't go against Samoa Joe. Yeah, I'm picking Samoa Joe on this one.
Corey.
And now I realize I still haven't done a title.
I'm going to say Joe's hanging on to it. I mean, aside from hanging on to the stability, I don't know that Swerve is the guy to be the flag bearer at this point. I don't know. Playing too much of the The
Prince
rebellious cart. Not saying he's not entertaining and whatnot. It's just, I don't know. And even then, if he does take it, then who they pitting to go against him to try and take it from him? And then is that going to play out? Too many variables. I think at this point in time, you got enough guys that are, ready to step up and be the next guy to go against the belt for this pay-per-view, the next guy at that pay-per-view sort of scenario. Keep some stability until you figure out
where you're
what the
heading
long-term plans are.
And what's going,
But I'll side with Joe.
Okay.
Plus, Joe can work anybody. Anybody.
This is true. This is the one, the TBS Championship. TBS champion Julia Hart from the House of Black against Willow Nightingale. They've got Julia Hart as a -500 favorite. I think this is the one I've got to go with Willow Nightingale in this. It's one title that I think is going to change. I don't necessarily want that because I'm enjoying what Julia Hart's doing, and I think that all the reason of stability to keep it with it. I think her keeping it would be good, but I think there is a lot more. Maybe some interesting storylines that could happen with Willow Nightingale, especially when you figure you've also got Chris Statlander that's coming in with her, and then the issue with her and Mercedes Moné, and where does that go? And both of those two, like all three of them, Willow, Mercedes Moné, Chris Statlander, to me, I think they kind of need the title to help elevate them up a little bit. At this point, I don't think Julia Hart needs it. I think she can have a program with anybody. She's kind of proven herself that she doesn't need the belt anymore. I think she has kind of elevated up and brought some attention to it. That's me talking myself into it.
Yourself?
That's me talking myself into it.
He is.
I'm going with Willow.
I love Julia Hart. I mean, she has grown so much, probably more so than any other wrestler, male or female, over the course of the last year and a half.
What you guys are saying.
However, with that being said, she has done some great women's tag team things with Sky Blue, and I have heard rumors of a women's tag team titles coming to AEW, and I think that Willow is going to end up winning it, and then Mercedes, being the CEO, is going to come in and say, you know what, you beat me on a fluke.
Yeah.
Now I challenge you, and I think she's going to lose it, and that's going to be Mercedes' first title. But for this one right here, I'm going with Willow.
Willow, okay.
All right. Willow's the one that Mercedes has a little drama with.
Yeah, because she had that match for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship and got injured, and Willow ended up winning that.
Oh, okay. Now I know who she is. I'll go with Willow. Okay. I was leaning towards Hart, just stick with House of Black, but because I didn't know diddly about Willow, but now with that whole aspect, they're going to come in and push Mercedes to the moon. So she'll come in, go after the belt, take the belt. It'll have a blow off, or they'll have a little feud, program for about 3 months or whatever. Yeah, that makes more sense.
And at first I could sit there and see, somebody like Mercedes coming in and thinking, well, it's just the TBS championship. It's not like it's the Women's World Championship.
It's a belt.
But it is a belt, and it's also the belt that Jade Cargill had and kept for a long time. And so the fact that you got WWE pushing Jade Cargill to the moon, I could see Mercedes saying, yeah, how about I just go ahead and take that, and I'll be a better champion than she ever was. They had the opportunity to have me, and they grabbed her instead.
Sure.
Love it.
All right, and then the one that I have been looking forward to for so long. Who is the best wrestler in the world? Is it the aerial assassin Will Ospreay? Or is it Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon? Betting odds have Will Ospreay at -1,000. I would like to sit here and try to create some drama. It's Will Ospreay.
Yep. In their primes, it would have been debatable. Not
Correct.
now.
He's going to win.
Yeah.
But best wrestler in the world? No. Not what I've seen yet. So I have more to watch, and maybe I'll be convinced, but I'm not convinced yet after a month worth of matches.
You still got to get that one, that one trios match with, one?
That's the one.
Was it? It was Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis, and they were against Penta, Ray, and Pac.
So good.
That one was like,
I forgot about that match. That was
y'all are insane. Because that was like that whole time when they were really pushing the trios thing, and I was like, dude, as much as I would want House of Black to be the trios champion, I also want the United Empire to be the trios champions. Like, they are just
that good.
I am willing to give him the opportunity, benefit of the doubt, but I don't know. Maybe it's just who they put him up against has been like, oh, that was a decent match, and then it's overshadowed by the fact that everybody in the audience wants to cheer "This is awesome" for every other match, and it loses something.
Yeah.
So it's like having a chair shot for every match. It's like, I don't care. So show me something different than what everybody else is doing, and show me something that makes me pop. I mean, I've seen 3 of his matches, and I haven't popped. One I was actually thoroughly bored with. And that was the one with him and Josh, you and I were talking about it, the wrestler from Japan. Shibata. Yeah. The fact that they went 90% of the match of no selling one another, and then the match actually started, and it was a few minutes. No, I could have done without that. That was time I can't get back. But yeah, you watch Romero and against the big moose of a Japanese dude, and he hit him with a punch, and hit him with a punch, and I was just like checking my teeth, making sure they were all there. So
I want you to, if you can, I think it was about a month ago.
I want to say it was with everything else.
It was early March. Just fast forward, find the match. It was Will Ospreay against Kyle Fletcher, and I believe it was a Dynamite match.
And Kyle Fletcher go with it.
Yeah, it was him and Kyle Fletcher, because they were both, teammates on.
You'll know
United
the name
Empire.
afterwards.
And yes, and that hidden blade.
I still have a headache.
Talk about checking your teeth. I was like, Kyle just took all of that.
Fair enough.
And it was a case of, and you get into the business, there are guys that you just gel with as like partners, and then you start to wrestle them, and it's like, where they're at, what they're thinking, what they're doing, and that familiarity.
You don't have to talk.
Yeah, that familiarity, it was so good. Like, I rewound it and watched it back over again because it was just that good. I think that Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson will live up to the hype for at least me, because other people that I have looked up, I've looked forward to Bryan Danielson facing like Zack Sabre Jr. That match was everything I wanted it to be. It was a technical, masterpiece, the way that they were doing that catch as catch can, and it was just
counter move.
Move counter move counter move, and it was so good. The style, I think if Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson, they really start to take those similarities that they have and capitalize on that, we'll start to see the American Dragon from like New Japan, the Japanese days back 20 years ago, that type of American Dragon coming in and facing Will Ospreay. And then you get those two. I'm looking forward to it, but it's Will Ospreay's winning it, like he just is.
Okay, so tiebreaker prediction, just in case there is a tiebreaker.
Okay.
One thing that I've noticed on AEW pay-per-views, They always have a move of the night that seems to happen in almost every single match. You ever watch that? You ever see that? Yep.
I guess I just noticed that they're all always doing the exact same move that everybody's doing. I didn't think about it as a move of the night, but although back in the day we used to do that, so
we used to do it all the time.
Right.
So move of the night for this pay-per-view. Anything.
Okay, you got to pick something, and it can't be.
It's got to be.
How is that going to be a tiebreaker?
Well, because if we get it right,
it could be totally different moves. Yeah.
So it's a bonus point thing that we could get.
It's a bonus point. We'll call it a bonus point.
All right. Bonus point. What would the?
Because there was one pay-per-view. It was like the octopus. Everybody was doing the octopus that day. And then there was another one. It was always a side Russian leg sweep for like everything. So I mean, it's just simple little things like that.
And how many matches does it have to appear in for us to call it the move of the night?
The majority.
Okay.
So there's 8 matches,
so at least 5 matches have to have this move in it.
And are we
let's say at least half. So 4.
Okay.
And we're taking out strikes.
Correct. Yeah. Clotheslines don't
otherwise
count.
I'm calling super kick.
Yeah, I was going to say we can't use a super kick because a super kick has become a punch anymore.
Correct. You can't do a clothesline. You can't do a.
No strikes.
I wouldn't even say a drop kick would be considered.
No.
Consider that because
I mean, if it was like a springboard drop kick or a top rope drop kick, then yeah. If it was like a spinning back fist, maybe I could go with that.
All right, and
European uppercut doesn't count because that's what I would say would be an easy one to do.
You can count variations. Sure.
Count variations.
So you could
So
if it were a drop kick, you'd have a drop kick in this match. Another tag, you'd have a double drop kick, and then somebody else does a top rope drop kick. You're already 3 down. Really?
But we just said
quite
drop
the same
kicks
as like
count.
a side Russian.
We just said drop kicks don't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna go with Brainbuster.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's my bonus point reach. Although I can only see it potentially happening in 3 of them. Because I think it would happen in the Kyle O'Reilly match with him and Roderick Strong, because it is Roderick Strong. So, I mean, granted, you're just going to get tons of backbreakers there. I also think it'll happen in Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. And I see House of Black delivering one. But those are the only 3 I can think of right off the gate that it probably would. I don't know if any others. Maybe we'll get a Brainbuster off of ladders.
You also cannot use the corner cannonball because Brody King and Willow both do that. So that's 2 automatically right there. So you can't even do that one.
But do you really think 2 more people are going to do that?
You said 5, right?
Are we doing 4 or 5?
We'll say 4. We'll say 4. Half
4.
Unless they give us a surprise match that gets added this week, and then it has to be 5. So it has to be
5.
At least 50%.
Okay. I'm going with small package.
Okay. I mean, I would have allowed Schoolboy too, but
I'm going with a small package. Because there was one pay-per-view, it was the Jim Ross calls it the Oklahoma Roll or whatever they call it.
Yeah, there was
one of them. It was like every single
that.
match had that.
Yep. Okay. I mean, I thought you were going to go with like a Canadian Destroyer because you usually see like 3 or 4 of those. Like, you know that one's coming out in a ladder match for sure.
Now I'm going with small package. I was tossed up between a small package and a sunset flip. Those were the 2 I was tossing with.
Ooh, Swerve might bust out a Brainbuster on Joe. Wouldn't that be cool? He does like a Brainbuster.
He does.
Can he get Joe in a Brainbuster?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think I think he could. I think he could.
Would
all right,
Joe
Corey,
let him?
you're the last one.
Joe's a big boy.
All right, finish us off, Corey. What's your guess for a move of the night? for 1 bonus point.
I think I froze up.
Move of the night, I will say Tope Suicido.
All right, suicide dive.
Topo Chico, what? Nah, everybody does a suicide dive. Come on. Even Brody King does one.
This is true. Brody
He'll
King.
have 4 of them in one match.
Last week, I was like, he hit 3 guys with it. It was brutal.
Well, but I mean, who are you
Samoa
going to get?
Joe does it. Swerve does it. Ospreay does it.
Yep.
Bryan Danielson does it.
Bryan does it.
But that's
Brody
only
King
2
does
matches
it.
right there.
Buddy Murphy does, or Buddy Matthews does it. I've seen Malachi Black do it.
But that would
I've
still be
seen-
1 match, and the Young Bucks do it.
Young Bucks do it.
And I
FTR does
saw
it.
FTR do it. I've seen Pac do it.
I don't think there's a wrestler on this card I haven't seen do it. I've seen Willow Nightingale do it. I have seen it. So
It's not a clothesline.
I
You
mean,
call it a small package.
this is
when's
true.
the last time you saw a small package?
I
This
don't
past
remember.
week, like 5 times.
There was none on Raw yesterday.
I don't remember. I know I saw a small package recently because I popped for the small package, but
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Anyways, those are our predictions.
All
You guys out there, if you're listening to the podcast, let us know what your thoughts are. You can find us on social if we're on social, or just take a screenshot of listening to the podcast, tag one of us, share it, tell other people they should be listening to the wrestling related podcast, because we like talking all things wrestling related. That's all I got.
Or in general.
Yeah, and we're in general. And until next time, see ya.
Later.
See ya.